I have no idea where we're supposed to go today. Where are we supposed to go? Oh, we're supposed to go to a new unit.
Not ready.
You ready?
I'm not ready.
Why not?
Because I still got to take that test.
I am. We're supposed to go to Waffle House. I don't remember saying Waffle House. I think y'all about loony. Okay, well okay, well y'all write down what kind of biscuit y'all want, and I'll send you to go get us some biscuits. All right? You go to Bojangles. All right, sit around a piece of paper and write down what biscuits y'all want.
Hey, I want a biscuit.
Well, you're the one that's staying in freaking Westminster.
Valhalla.
Okay, let me pull up. Oh my Lord. Okay, give it to her. All right, y'all go together. Let's see, course tools. Okay. All right, I got to go to 103. And what chapter are we in? Chapter 4? Is that what you said? 4A. Yeah, I want a steak and egg. I don't like American cheese. I think it's nasty, so I don't get cheese on my stuff. And I want a large Dr. Pepper. Here's my card. All right, finances. Don't like to go to Walmart or anything on my card because I only got $5 in there. All right, hurry up.
I say that to my kids all the time. I only got $5 when I send them to the store my debit card.
Only got $5 now.
I know about how much it's going to be.
A lot of money at Walmart now. We don't have anything. We broke now. So ask for anything.
Yeah, I tell my kids there's only $10 on here. Do not go over $10.
Okay, I'm not going to tell y'all how you spend money, okay? A latte. I'm not going to tell you, if you want to find out how much you're spending per year, I'm not going to tell you how to do that because that insults your intelligence. So I'm not going to tell you how to do that. But the reason that they're going into some of these is because some students don't know jack. All right? There's simple interest, which is 2%, and I'm going to go into that in just a minute. But I'm going to tell you some of the things that you need to know. Budget, you need to know what a budget is. You need to know what surplus is. You need to know what expenses are. And I'm trying to find this book will ever get to the, it's not getting to the, I thought it had definitions in here somewhere. But I'll just go ahead and just start talking because evidently I hate this book. I know I've said that. But anyway, surplus. Surplus is what comes after you've paid. That's what everybody wants. A surplus is your paycheck minus your what? Your bills. Okay? Paycheck minus your bills. Now, that's the problem we have today is people don't want to pay their bills. That's the problem we have. They just want the paycheck. Come on, man, it's fine. Huh?
I just paid my insurance for my mom. I'm driving my car and it's $85 from $175 check.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
difficult.
I was married to someone who would take the bills and throw them away. And do you know what they thought? They thought if you throw the bills away, it goes away. I found that out after I got divorced, how many bills I owed. So, some people just don't want to pay bills. Now, bills, what are bills? Well, your utilities. Your electric bill, your water bill, your direct bill, your phone bill. The more bells and whistles you have, the more utility bills you have. Your car payment, your mortgage or your rent, your insurance. I don't know how to spell mortgage, but anyway. Mortgage or rent. What did I say? Insurance. House insurance. Health insurance. Car insurance. These are all your things that you have to pay or you're not able to function. Now, I didn't say anything about clothes. I didn't say anything about food. Those are things that you need, but they're not bills. They're necessities. And you need to put that in there. Groceries. Clothes for the kids. Okay, that kind of stuff. Gas. Yeah. Luckily, thank goodness it's not $5 a gallon like it was. Now, once you pay all these, whatever's left in the paycheck is what you can go and get restaurants, go to Target. I didn't spell Target right, and my eraser's not working. I wonder if I hit this with this. No. I don't know. I wish I had training and I could switch it. Now, when I mean Target, I mean go shopping for yourself. Okay, not necessities. I'm talking what? Get you a picture to put up in the den, buy some stuff for yourself, some kitchen things that you like or things that you like, not things that you need. What else? Restaurants, Target, trips, movies. But see, what we have today is we have people that think this is what? They think this trumps this. And that's not the way it goes. That's not the way it goes. This is what do you call privileges? I don't know how to spell privileges, but anyway. Privileges, this is privileges. This is necessities. And necessities rule over privileges. Okay? Now, if you don't work, then you don't get what? You don't get a paycheck. So you don't get a surplus. So you don't pay bills. Unless you get a government check. Okay? And we're not going there. All right. And all of these guys, those necessities, are called expenses. All right? And that's the things that we pay for necessity. This pen is not working good. I have got all kind of words today that I don't know how to spell. Needs. Anything with two S's or two C's in it, I'm not very good at. Okay? Pay for needs. And then the luxuries or the privileges is what's after. You must have a budget. You don't have to have a budget. Hubert don't have a budget. Why? Because I'm a spender. Okay? I spend money. If I won $1 million, I would have it spent before I got to the farm today. I could buy 2 or 3 pieces of equipment and a truck, and I would have it spent pretty much. But equipment cost a lot of money, so that's how I would have it spent. But the whole point is, I know in my head how my checkbook runs. And I know that after alimony and child support, and after a mortgage on a house that I still own, I'm pretty much broke. So I know everything that I got after that is going toward groceries, going toward anything else that I need to pay for. Okay? Dang old steers, have to sell steers, dang old pay bills. But the whole point is, I've got another source of income to take care of that. But the whole point is, you need to, if you don't, then you have to budget. And that means that you have to cut out what? You have to cut out some of the privileges to pay bills. And again, that's one of the things that we're having a problem with. Cut out privileges to pay bills. Now, can you still have some privileges? Yes. You can still have some privileges. You just can't go to the movies every other night. And you can't go out to eat every night. It's those kind of privileges. You just have to budget. What takes precedence? Gas bill or going out to eat? Gas bill. Because you can't go to work, and if you can't go to work, you don't get a paycheck. All right? So those are some of the things, and I'm not going to sit here and go through all of this with you because I think that you should know about those things. And if you don't, then see me after class and we can talk more about it, okay? But simple interest. Here's one of the things. Now this is testable. This is besides the simple definition of budget, expenses, surplus, debt. Debt is, debt is what you get into when you owe what? You owe money. Simple interest is what you use when you're talking about loaning money or saving money or whatever the case may be. Usually it's with loaning money. A simple interest loan is something that's real simple. I like to use my father's. My father would like to help. My father used to like to help people whenever he could. And one thing that he always did is he tried to help people, that would work on the farm with us. He tried to. What was that?
Sorry.
I'm trying to teach here, and you're disturbing class. All right.
I have allergies.
Oh, whatever. Shouldn't be drinking so much. All right. Simple interest. He would try to, and what he would do is he would buy a vehicle for somebody that was working on the farm. I'm not talking about a Lincoln Continental or anything. I'm talking about like a beat up old car or something. And it would be transportation. And he would charge them simple interest. And he would take out a little bit each week out of their paycheck. And like $50 a week or something like that. And he'd buy the car for $400 or $500. And it would run, but it just wouldn't be, you wouldn't cruise the mall on Saturday night with it. But he would do that. And one instance, he bought a truck, a 1966 pickup truck. It was an old truck, but it ran good. And he bought it for $500. And he would do like 10, 15, or 10% at 10% simple interest. Okay? That means 10% of 50 is what?
5.
550. 1% would be 5. 10% would be 50. So the employee really owed my father $550 over a 3 or 4 month period or whatever the case may be. A simple interest loan is what you would give a family member or a friend that you were borrowing money from or something like that. Why? And a lot of people say, well, I can't believe you would charge a friend simple interest. Wait a minute now. What are you doing with that money? You're taking that money out of the savings account that you've got, which is drawing what? Interest. So you're actually being penalized for taking that money out. So you need to recoup that somehow. You also need to let the friend know that they owe you what? Money. And that's what the interest is for also. Because that money is out of your hands and it's out of your savings account. So don't act like you're being bad. Now, if you charge 30% simple interest, then I think you're a little bit gouging, okay? But 10% simple interest is what it is. It's simple interest just to recoup you having to take it out of the savings account or the CD. And it's also there to let the person know that, hey, we're friends, but this is what? This is business. You need to pay me back that money. Okay? So that's simple interest. Now, if you was to divide that, let's say 3 years. I want to pay that off in 3 years. Then 3 years is 36 what?
Months.
36 months. Now let's divide that into, my dad would pay them, weekly. So that's how many weeks? 36 times 4 is what? 144?
Yes.
So somebody take your handy dandy calculator and take $550 and divide it by 44. Or 144. What do you get?
3.8.
How much?
3.81.
So in 5 years, of course, he wouldn't do it for 3 years. He'd do it for like 6 months. But in this case, he would pay like, how much?
$3.
Okay, then he would pay $4 out of the paycheck every month. But my dad would not do that. My dad would do it for like 6 months. So take 6 months, multiply 24, take 550 and divide it by 24 weeks.
22.
He would take $25 or whatever out of their paycheck. And the person, he would round it up. Of course, I don't think the person would mind because he was getting a car out of it. He would round it up. If it was 22, he'd round it up to 25. I'm going to take 25 out of here. My dad wasn't making, he was making $50. Okay, that $50 was money that he could, he could have in his bank account. So nothing is what? Nothing is free. Okay? If you take $500 out of your checking account or out of your CD, technically you're being penalized. You could walk around with that money in your pocket for 6 months. But why are you being penalized? Because that 6 months that you're walking around with that money in your pocket, you could get $2, $3, $5, $6 in your CD. Okay? I've got a CD right now on the farm. I think it's called a CD or a money market. And about every month, it brings in like, I don't know, $100 or something. Or not about every month. Okay? Because that money is there for, for the future. It's for a case of emergency or whatever the case may be. But if I took that money out and want to be a big dog and walk around with 45, whatever bills or whatever, and I want to be a big dog, that money, that'd be fine. I don't have to spend a dime. But it's taking me out of the money, that $100 a month, because I want to carry it around in my pocket. Okay? So, nothing is free. If you loan some people the money, you've got to recoup it somehow. And that's how you recoup it with simple interest. Simple interest is something you use with friends, family, whatever the case may be. Y'all didn't have a wreck, did you? Where's my drink?
You ordered a drink?
A Dr. Pepper.
Thank you.
All right.
I will get you one.
No, that's all right. Here, let me give you. Go get me a Dr. Pepper if you don't mind, because I'll get the hiccups if I eat something without a drink. Thanks.
Oh, the vending machine?
Yeah. Okay, y'all come get your biscuits. Now, you came late. I'm sorry. Come in like 5 o'clock. I don't know where my steak. Y'all find my steak biscuit. Huh? Okay. So I'm sorry y'all are not here. These biscuits smell real good. Y'all still there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mary Margaret's watching TV. She's watching soap operas.
She's watching.
Yeah.
Wish I
Now,
had a
simple
book.
interest is, y'all got simple interest pretty down pat. I'm not going to cover a lot of simple interest problems, but you will see a couple of them in your homework and a couple of them in your...
Y'all want to share one? I got an extra. Yeah. Okay.
Y'all are like not even paying attention, man. That's all right. Don't be courteous. Be mean.
No.
Be mean and violent like Trump. He's mean and violent. Violence, yes, violence, Donald Trump. But under my administration, I will be a weasel. I'm sorry. He reminds me of a weasel. I went to see Zootopia with my son. Yeah, it was actually good. It wasn't the old cliche of somebody getting lost and trying to find their way home. I am so sick of that. There we go. Simple versus compound. Now, this is what your test is going to be made up of. Because this is very, very, very important. And if I could get the compound right quick. Well, this book, like always, drags everything out. There we go. There is the compound interest formula, page 200. It says A is equal to P times 1 plus, I hate the way they write this, APR raised to the Y power. You need to write that down. Now, what is principal? That's how much money that you are putting in the bank or somebody is loaning you or whatever the case may be. Now, a lot of people don't understand compound interest because they don't understand what it means. So we're going to talk about what it means. Thank you, sir. Put it down, sir. I try to drink water before I eat. Okay. Principal is what you're putting in the bank. Principal is what you're loaning out. If you was to say, okay, Billy Bob, you're my brother, but I don't trust you, so I'm gonna have to really charge you on this loan. Okay, so I'm gonna charge you compounded interest. Then if you let Billy Bob borrow $1,000, then the principal would be $1,000. If you put $1,000 in the savings account or the CD, then the principal is $1,000. Whatever you put into it is called the principal. A is whatever you get after so many years. So I'm not going to worry about that. APR is the percentage rate. That's what the bank will tell you, or you will determine if you're loaning the money to Billy Bob. Usually that's a low rate. Okay? It used to be a high rate, but before 2008, it was, 8, 9% in some banks? Now it's like 0.2%. Because the banks are still what? Scared. They're still recovering. They're still scared. They don't think the economy is up like people say it's up. And usually you can tell by how many houses are being built. When my dad was living, I was working under his surveying license. I'm finishing up my surveying license now. But one of the things about the surveying business is the surveying business goes along with the house building business, building. If you're building houses left and right, then the economy is what? Strong. I don't see many houses being built. Now, I see these little put-together houses being built, these modular homes. I see some of them being put together, but that's not what I'm calling a stick-built house. I'm talking 2x4s, framing them up, that's what I'm calling a house, all right? when you see a lot of those going up, and you go down the highway and you see in 3 miles you see 4 or 5 houses being built, then the economy is strong. But I haven't been seeing that lately. Maybe y'all have. I don't know. But the APR is the percentage rate. Y is equal to the number of years. Okay? Now, notice, and see, that's why I don't like this book. Notice up at the top it says, for interest paid once a year. All right? Once a year is called annually. And I'm going to tell you right now, not many compound interest formulas are going to be done annually. All right? Let me show you the one that you're going to need the most. It's the same type formula. I don't like this book. If you'll look in your book somewhere, you'll see another formula. Okay, that page is not there. Okay, here it is. Well, I'm looking for it. There it is. Now this is the one you're going to use the most. Page 206. Oops. Page 206. Now, I would normally say this is a good test question, but I'm not going to tell you this is a test question. This is a dadgum real life question. So you need to write this down, and you don't need to put it to memory and forget it. You need to put it to memory and keep it, because this is something you're going to use with your bank accounts, with your savings accounts, with loaning money to people. You're going to use it. Now, the only difference in this one is there's an N in the formula. And the N is the number of times the loan or the savings account is calculated. Now, what does that mean? That means that, let's say that Miss Lancaster decides to put $1,000 in the bank, and she wants to keep it in there for 10 years. Okay? And she goes to the bank and she says, look, I got this $1,000. I don't want to spend it on anything. I want to keep it. And I want to just make as much money as I can off of it because I don't want to spend it. And they say, okay, we're going to put it in a CD or an IRA, or we're going to put it in something that will make the most money for you. And how long do you want to keep it? And she said, well, I wanted to keep it 5 years. And they said, well, if you keep it in for 10 years, I can give you a higher interest rate. And they say, okay. So she says, okay. And she puts it in there for 10 years. So Y is 10. And the banker says, well, since you keep it in for 10 years, we're going to give you an interest rate of 5%. Now, that's unheard of right now because the banks are still scared. All right? So I'm being very optimistic with saying 5%. Usually on an IRA or a CD, and you keep it for 10 years, then chances are you're talking about 2 or 3%. And that's about as high as you're going to get. If you're talking about just a regular savings account and you're putting a couple of thousand in there, you might get 0.3% or 0.2%. The banks are really scared. So now, that really doesn't have anything. That's 3%. But what is compounded and how? And then the banker says, well, we're going to compound it quarterly. And then you say, well, I really don't. Miss Lancaster says, I really don't want quarterly. I want monthly. And they say, okay, well, if you put it in, if we keep it compounded monthly, then we need to put it in for 15 years. And the bank will do kind of dealing like that with you if you're putting money in their bank for a period of time. So she decides, okay, that's what we'll do. So she decides, Miss Lancaster decides, well, I'm going to put this $1,000, and you might want to write this down because this is a test question, and it's also a real life question. So there's some things here you're going to learn if you don't know that is important. And she says, okay, we'll put it in for 15 years because I want to get as much money as I can out of this. And she puts it in for 15 years, and it's at 3%. APR is 3%. And the banker says, okay, yes, since you did 15 years, we're going to make it monthly. Monthly. What does monthly mean? Each month. Now, what does compounded mean? Well, let's just say that Miss Lancaster is at Mom and Pop's Bank in Westminster, and there's no other bank like it. This is her bank. It's what she's been going. It's a small town bank. That bank in that little building has a computer, and that computer, its the only job. It doesn't even have a keyboard. Okay, it's automatically programmed that every month it takes every single, or not every month for all the bank accounts, but for the monthly, it goes in and it takes all the bank accounts that are compounded monthly, and it calculates, okay, there's Miss Lancaster's, it's got $1,000, we're going to multiply 1,000 times 3%, and that's going to give us $1,003, or whatever, let's see, 1,030, because, let's see, what did I say, 3%? Yeah. 30%, 10% of 1,000 is what? 100. 1% of 1,000 is 10, right? So 30% would be $30. Okay, so at the end of the month, the computer goes beep, beep, boop, and it pulls out all the, and it comes across Miss Lancaster's, and it calculates beep, beep, boop, 1,030. And boom, her first month, it goes from 1,000 to 1,030. You with me? Now, the second month rolls around. And instead of 1,000, the computer picks up what? 1,030, and it beep boops on that, and it's going to be different. It's not going to be 30, it's going to be $33 or something like that, because it's got a little bit more. And each month, it goes back and it does that. And that's what that computer does every month. It also, there's another computer in that little building that does yearly and semi-annually. Annually and semi-annually and quarterly. Okay? So different bank accounts, different savings accounts set up at different times gain different compound and different rates and different Y's. Now you're ready to actually calculate what she's going to have at the end of what? 15 years. Now the good thing about this is that you can do it in one fluent step on your calculator. I want you to take your calculator right now and figure this one. $1,000, 1 plus, take your APR, now that's 0.03. You can't put it in as 3. That's going to be 0.03. No coughing, please. All right, take a minute and do that. Miss McCollum, you still with us?
I am.
There's that little pause. Oh, wake up. The reason is you're quiet. Miss Lancaster, we can hear what she's doing on her end. She's either...
I have my muted.
Oh, is that it? Oh, okay.
Oh, how do you do that? There's a little microphone in the top right corner.
Top right corner.
Now, I know, can't hear anything now. Thanks a lot. Anyway, that's how I knew she was awake. Now, I'm going to take, and I'll work inside what? Out. So APR is what? 0.03 divided by what?
Divided by 12.
Oh, she turned it off again. And that's added to what?
15.
Added to 1. So inside the parentheses, we have 1.0025. Now, raise that to the what? Well, you got to multiply 12 times 15. Well, 12 times 12 is 144, right? And 3 times 12 is 36. So that'd be 180. So I'm going to raise this to the 180th power. Now, a lot of you say, good gosh, you're going to make $1 million. No, because 1 raised to the millionth power is what?
1.
1. The bank, okay, there's 2 or 3 things that are not in the, what do you call this when you're very generous? Generosity. They're not in the business of being generous. That is the casinos in Las Vegas and the bank. Why? Well, that number has to stay around 1 because what happens if it goes to 2? You're not, what are you doing to your money? You're doubling it. The bank ain't going to go for that. Neither is Las Vegas. All right? So they have to keep that number in parentheses right there. They have to keep that number around what? 1. Now, 1.5 is bigger, but like I said, I did exaggerate on the percent because I was just trying to prove a point. Okay? So take that and multiply that by what? The 1,000. So multiply that by 1,000. And at the end of 15 years, Miss Lancaster made $567.43. Okay? Now, a lot of you are sitting there going, well, that sucks. Well, not really. Did she lift a finger to make $567? She didn't do anything. Okay? That was just to keep that money in the bank so the bank could invest it 3 or 4 times. If you think that money is just sitting in the bank and it's not doing anything, you're fooled. They take that money on paper and they invest it. And if they make millions of dollars off of that $1,000, then that's their money. If they lose that $1,000, then they just put $1,000 back in. Okay, but they're investing it. Just we'll let y'all know that. Some of y'all are like, I said that in one class and they're like, they can't do that. Oh, yes, they can. And they do. They'll not invest it 1 time. They'll invest it 2 or 3 times. Now, what if they lose it? Then you're out $1,000. All they do is put it back in. But if they make $10 off the $1,000, that's their $10. They make $25 off of it, that's their money. Okay? Nothing is what? Nothing is free. All right.
People that hack into your account, steal your money.
Now they're stealing, yeah.
My dad and my daughter yesterday, they got into my bank account with she was here, and she's only 20.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, my account is worth $17 today. I just got paid. But I mean, bank fixed it. But somebody in California was buying this hospital.
Must have been a male. Okay. Now, let's do something fun. You want to do something fun? Let's say that we go and buy a lottery ticket. And we buy a lottery ticket, and that lottery ticket wins. What are we going to do? Well, we're going to go buy a brand new truck. We're going to put $600,000 in the console of that truck, and we're going to go to a strip club. And what's going to happen? Somebody's going to steal the truck with the $600,000 on it and beat you up, and you're going to end up in a ditch. Has that happened before? Yes, it has. Guy in Texas, he owned a construction business, and he won like $10 million off of a lottery ticket. So instead of doing something smart, he goes out and buys a big old F550 truck, or at that time it was a big old truck, dually, four-wheel drive, all the bells and whistles. Is about a $100,000 truck. And then he put $600,000 in the console cash. And then he goes to a strip club. By the time he comes out of the strip club, he gets beat up because he's half drunk. He gets beat up. He probably gave away $100,000 in the strip club. He got beat up, and somebody stole his truck with the $600,000 in it. So that's what you do when you win $1 million. You go to the strip club. Anyway, the whole point is, let's say we won a simple amount after taxes. Let's say we won $15 million. Now, you might want to take $1 million and blow it, and that's okay. That's fine. But you need to take some of this, and you need to figure out what you're going to do with it. Now, some of you may get $15,000 in the inheritance. Some of you may get $150,000 out of inheritance. Somebody might hit one for, you may hit a lottery ticket for $15,000. What I'm trying to tell you is, if you ever come into some money, and I'm saying over $5,000, okay, you need to step back and you need to put it in a bank for a period of time, because you got to figure out what to do with it. Now, it all depends on your situation. If you hit $5,000 and you're $10,000 in the hole of a credit card, then you don't need to sit and put it in the bank. You need to pay off some of those credit cards, okay? That I'm saying, if you have your bills paid and you're making money, you know, and you got $300 or $400 and you can go out to eat and things like that, and your grandmother or great grandmother or aunt leaves you $15,000, or you hit for $15,000, or you get $1 million, or somebody, one of your family leaves you a piece of land and you sell that land for $25,000. You need to be smart. And the thing about your money, let's put all the jokes aside and all the dumbasses out there that wants free college tuition and all that. Let's just put all that to the side. Your money, you need to be smart with it, period. And one of the things you need to do is you would take that $15 million and you put it in a bank as quick as you could. Quick as you could. If you win at midnight the next morning, you go down to Columbia, they write you a check for $15 million, you stop in Columbia and you put it in a bank. Why? 2 or 3 reasons. One is it can go ahead and make money for you. What's another reason? Somebody's going to hit you upside the head if you carry around $15 million in your pocket, especially in L.A. When you get back to Lower Anderson, don't go down to Homeland Park. Somebody's going to shoot you, or the east side. Somebody's going to shoot you when you carry around $15 million. Okay? Dang old South Bend. Ain't going to get shot. Okay? What? Well, east side or south side, either one. They kind of run into each other right there. Right there around the old McCants. See, kind of right there. Huh?
McCants had them good ones. You think Southwood was bad? No.
Oh, no.
McCants had it bad.
Yeah. Southwood. Now, listen. I went to Southwood for all 3 years that I was there. It don't hold a candle to the old McCants. The old McCants down there, dang old behind the courthouse. Rough. Make Southwoods look like North Side. All right, now, so we're going to take this $15 million, and you're going to put it. You got to put it in like 15 different accounts, because each account only holds $250,000. You know that, right? So you have to divide that up into like 15 accounts or whatever the case may be. You're going to take 5 million and blow it. That's fine. Put 10 million, whatever. Whatever the case may be, we're going to put 15 million in the bank. All right? Now, this is exaggerated a little bit, but let's say we're going to get 3%. And I'm going to tell you what. You walk into a bank, especially a local bank, like People's Bank is my bank. You walk into a local bank with $15 million, you're going to get the highest dadgum percentage that they can give you legally. All right? Because that money, what are they going to do with it? They're going to invest it. Okay? That's why every account is insured at $250,000. So, you're going to take that $15 million and you're going to put it in People's Bank and they're going to give you 3%. But they ain't going to give you 3%. You say, I ain't going to put it in there for 15 years. I'm going to put it in there maybe for 5 years. Now, a lot of you say, 5 years? You can't do anything with $15 million in 5 years. You're going to leave it in there and you can't spend it? Listen to me. If you put $15 million in a bank, if you need money, you think you're going to be able to get it, you're going to be able to get it. It's called an unsecured loan. Well, Hubert, let's say I want to buy a car. You got $15 million in the bank. They're going to give you an unsecured loan. They're going to give you anything you want up to what? $15 million. So you ain't going to have to worry about that. All right? I want to buy a new tractor. Okay. We're just going to take a chunk out on paper. Your $15 million is still in the bank. But what they do is they say, how much is the tractor? Sounded like somebody's stomach growling. Okay. Let's say that your tractor costs $60,000. All right? So we're going to take $60,000 on paper. That 150 million is still sitting over here. But we're going on paper, we're going to move it over here. And if you don't make payments on this tractor, $500 a month or whatever, then we're going to take that $60,000 out of your 15 million. And then when you pay off the $60,000 with your payments or whatever, they take the 60 million plus the interest that it made, and they put it back on paper back into your 15 million. It's called an unsecured loan. And that way the bank doesn't have to go through all this paper shuffling and you have to sign all these papers to say, you know when you buy a mortgage or you have to sign like 15 pieces of paper, you don't have to do that with an unsecured loan. So you can do that. So you ain't going to have to worry. And you might take out $1 million or $2 million to put in another account that you can blow. And that's fine. But we're still talking about 50. Let's say you won 18 million, okay? You won 18 million and you put 15 in the bank. And they say, how many? 5 years at most. 5 years. Okay, well, we're going to give you 1%. No, I'll just go to another bank. Okay, we'll give you 3%. That's all you got to say. And then they're going to say, well, we're going to compound it quarterly. No, I'll go to another bank. Okay, we'll compound it monthly. So they're going to compound it monthly. So N is equal to what? N is equal to 12. All right, calculate it. A is equal to P times 1 plus R over N. They put APR. This is the way it's written. Raised to the NT power. And T is the number of years. This is the way, if you turn into 99% of the business books teaching you business, 99% is going to write the compound interest formula like this. And then there's this book that writes it in some dummy down way that you ignorant people can understand it. That's why I don't like this book. So A is equal to, and I'm not going to go through that, I'm going to do it on the handy dandy calculator. So we take R, which is 0.03, divide it by what? 12. Add it to 1. And we multiply that by what? 15 million. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay, so you, after you do that.
Oh, I forgot to raise it. I'm sorry. Thank you. I forgot to raise it. 0.03 divided by 12 plus 1 raised to the nt power. Well, 12 times 5 is what? 60. So raise that to the 60th power and then multiply that by 15 million. So at the end of 5 years, take off your 15 million because you want to keep it in the bank. In 5 years, you made that amount. Well, you don't know how much that is. Let's just divide that by 5 to see how much we made yearly. $484,850. How many of y'all could get by with $400 for a year?
Thinking about for like 2 years right now, or more.
Yeah. So now there are some exaggerations here. I realize that 3% is not realistic, but I guarantee you walk into a bank with $15 million, I guarantee you, you're going to get somebody's attention. Okay? Now, why did I say 5 years? Because meanwhile, while you're making a couple of $100,000 a year off of this interest for 5 years, where should you be going? You should be going to see an accountant/lawyer. It's called an accounting attorney. That's what it's called. And that's who you go see while this money is in the bank. You've got your $3 million that you can blow. You've got $15 million in the bank. Go see an accountant/attorney, because that attorney's going to say, okay, you need to spend this much each year. You need to keep this much. You need to buy this. You need to buy this so Uncle Sam won't take it off. That's what you do. And that's called being smart with your money. It's not called going out to the strip club, buying 3 or 4 different cars, putting $600,000 in each console and getting beat up and your car stolen. You don't do that.
Who would put that much money, that much cash? Who would do that?
An idiot. Overcompensation out the roof. Okay?
I had never seen that much money at one time, but I know that I wouldn't put it in the console of
Well,
my car if I did see it.
If you want to go around looking big, that's what you would do.
You only put so many smokestacks on your truck.
Yeah. You got to put it somewhere else. So, anyway. So, be smart with your money. Compound interest. Now, that will be, I will put a simple interest problem on the test. But I'll probably put 2 or 3 compound interest problems on the test. So make sure you know how to do compound interest, okay? Very important. Not only for the test, but as you can see, it'll help you out tremendously when you get out of here. This is one of those formulas I would write down and put somewhere, like in my phone or somewhere, because it's very important that you understand how it works. Yeah, but you got to watch it with the parentheses, because if you don't put parentheses here and here, then it'll take the principal times this and raise that to the NY power, and then you'll get a crazy answer. What the heck is that? Sound like a washer. Sound like a dog in a washer.
That's my dog.
Oh, Lord. I ain't going to say nothing. I'll just be quiet. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Now I want a biscuit. Y'all send me a biscuit next time. All right. That's compound interest and very important for everything. Continuous compound interest. You don't see it very much, but some banks use it as a blanket. Okay, there it is. Some banks use it as a blanket so they don't have to deal with all these interest, So they just put the compound, they put E in there. Okay? And e to the x is probably in your calculator where the natural log and the log is. So look for it. It's probably a shift log or shift ln. And that's your ex key. And E is around 2.2, somewhere around there. Or 2.7, huh? Yeah, log. It should be shift one of those keys. And basically it's used, when the banks want to put everything under one blanket, or, they don't want to deal with the quarterly and the annually and the semi-annually and the monthly. They just do, okay, we're going to put it in continuously. So let's take that same problem. Let's take the same 150 million and let's put it in there for the same amount of years and the same interest rate of 3%. But let's see what the difference is. So take your handy dandy calculator and we're going to say E, which is shift natural log, to the parentheses, well, APR is 3%, 0.03, times 5 years, equals, times 15 million, minus 15 million, because I'll just know the final answer we got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And divide that by 5. How much did we have last time? 446,000? Well, this is 485,000. So you see that continuous helps you even more. Now, I'm not going to say that it is more important, but you may see it, you may not see it as much as, you're not going to see it as much as you're going to see the other one. The other one is used a whole lot more than continuous. So you may be back down to one question on continuous. One question on simple, one question on continuous, versus 3 questions on compound. So that's what you're 1 to 3. So make sure you know how to type it in your calculator. Not going to spend a lot of time on that. There's a couple of formulas that we're going to spend a lot of time on. And I know it's probably, what time is it? What time's class over? Okay, we've got a few more minutes. I thought it was 11 or 11:10. Which one is it? Okay. The one I'm looking for is called amortization, and well, there's probably another section, saving money like an IRA and stuff like that. Yeah, that's probably next. I don't know what section we're on, but probably 4C. Yeah. Savings plan and investment. Let me show you the formula that you need to memorize. You need to write it down. You need to put circles around it, and there it is. Now it looks all complicated, but I'm going to show you how to use your calculator to make it very simple. Now, what kind of question is this going to be? This is going to be, Billy Bob wants to have $1 million in his bank account or IRA by the time he retires at the age of 70. Okay? He is 20 years old. And he wants to put $200 in, blah, blah, blah. How much will he have at the end of 50 years? That's what it's going to ask. And then you put the payment in of whatever his payment is. Let's say he puts $100 in a month. Month would be monthly, so N would be 12. So payment would be $100 a month. And since he is putting it in, what if he said $100 every 6 months? Well, then N would be 2, because 6 months is what? half a year, which is semi-annual. So you got to read, just like I tell my Math 120 students. This math is not hard, but you got to read. So APR, well, that's decided upon the bank. And let's just use 3%. That would be 0.03. And Y would be 50 because he's 20 years old and he retires at 70. So again, you have to what? Read. So let's see how much he would have at the end of 1 year. Oh, I got to show you all my video. I forgot to show you the video today. Hold on, let's go to it. And we'll finish class with this video. Y'all know I'm an Andy Griffith nut, right? Andy. No, y'all don't read anything about me, so maybe though I give y'all a handout, y'all don't read it. Andy Griffith, Andy Griffith. On. What?
There's something that came out and said Andy Griffith can do. I don't know what in the world that is.
I don't either. Let's see if I can do this without. I hate when people do this. Why do people do this? Let me see if I can find it when it's original. Reckon Netflix has it.
Yeah.
What episode is it? Does it say what episode it is?
I say it's a
I was looking. No coughing in class. Well, let me go to Netflix. Sorry. Hell, my big challenge. I think it's my old account. My kids use it. I don't. Work. Now, where do you look up? Search. That guy creeps me out. Him, Will Ferrell, and the guy on the Subway commercials creep me out. Who's that?
He was before Mr. Bean.
Oh, really?
Who's Mr. Bean?
He kind of looks like him.
Okay, what was I looking at? Oh, Andy Griffith. Mayberry bankrupt. What?
You can only type in the chat and then go to it and then look for it.
You forgot the R. Griffith.
Oh my Lord.
It's just like our math homework. You miss one character.
Yeah, that's true.
I know, I was one question.
Hey, it pulled it up.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I'm gonna kind of, what do you do when you go through and I'm gonna summarize. All right. What? All right. Well, I wanted to show you. No, it shouldn't. Let's see if this will work. This old man is getting evicted. Okay, he's getting evicted because he don't pay his bills because he makes fruit for women's hats. Okay, and nobody wants that, so he don't make any money. So they fixing to evict him. Well,
I'll take it in cash.
right. So he kicks him out. There's the fruit that goes on the women's hats. And Andy don't want to evict him. So Opie says, "Why don't you stay at our house?" So here he comes, coming to their house. That's when he asked him what he was doing. So he comes to the house to spend the night. And he brings his secret treasure box with him.
Good, that'd be good. How about the clerk right here in the house? What?
Now, a lot of you say, "What in the heck is this guy looking for?"
Where I get my valuables. Well, yeah, you might say that. Well, Frank, if you got some valuables in there, maybe there's something you could sell to raise some money on. Show them the valuables. No.
I'm trying to do it.
Yeah. What's that? Oh, I wouldn't want to give that up. You know what that is? A medallion from the St. Louis World's Fair of 1906. That's real brass, that is. Well, Frank is one of them irreplaceable items that you really call up. You're right, 100%.
It's this spoon with the funny handle.
Oh, that? Oh, that might bring stuff. Look at the card tonight. You know what it is? That is the skyline of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. My grandma lives. What else you got in there, guys? Well, she a napkin ring. Genuine whaleboat. And, look at that button. Used for books with button cover. You wouldn't remember that. Oh, they had them. Yeah. You see what else you got here? Oh. Red, white, and blue sleeve. Used to wear it the 4th of July. Well, I don't know, Frank. These are all fine items, but they got such sentimental value that, well, maybe you ought not to try to sell them. They ain't worth a tiddly boo.
What's the thing with all the funny writing on it?
Oh, there is a real sentimental rub. Ever show you this thing? No. It's a bond issued by the town of Maybury back in 1861.
100 years old.
Yeah, my great granddaddy bought it. Yeah, I used to have it framed with the glass broke a couple of years ago, but one of these days I'll hang it up again.
What if you cash it?
I reckon the time for cashing it in is just long past. Well, it just says that it's redeemable at $100 plus 8.5% interest.
Y'all writing this down?
I don't see any deadline day.
8.5% interest.
Maybe I could cash it in and give me a whole $100. Sure, plus 8.5% interest. Wait a minute. $100 at 8.5% interest compounded annually over the last 100 years.
Now you can't pick up a calculator. Why? They don't have a calculator.
Howdy, gentlemen. Howdy, Mayor. What's this man doing here? Oh, Brian, he's the subject of this meeting. Well, we already passed on his taking around forward. You're going to get to this, okay, yeah, I did do that.
Watch the biker. The biker's standing behind him.
We don't have time to discuss Frank Myers anymore. I think we're going to have to find time to discuss Frank Myers. A lot of time. Mayor, you see this right here? Sure. That's a bond issued by the city of Mayberry back in 1861. So, what about it? Well, it's in the amount of $100. It's owned by Frank Myers, and it's due and payable upon presentation by the owner and Frank's present. All right, so what is it? $100. You're the town treasurer, Harlan. Go on and pay it. Don't bother us about it. I can't. Why can't you? You see, this is 1.5% interest, compounded annually, for over 100 years. Come get the point, man. Well, Mayor, the point is, according to the computation machines down at the back end, they're good machines. We owe Frank Myers $349,119. I'll take it.
So, there is another, and it goes, and they treat him like a king because they owe him money, and they find out that the bond is Confederate, which is Confederate, meaning that it was bought with Confederate money, and they don't owe him anything. But they fixed his house up, painted his house, fixed up his farm, fences, did everything, and then they turn on him and they try to throw him out of his own house after they find that out. But it turns out good. But anyway, there's another thing. Bonds can do that also. And I'll leave it at that point. And when we get back Monday, we'll go into the savings account portion of the chapter. How we doing over there, y'all?
Fantastic.
Okay.
Good.
You still there? Miss McCollum fell asleep.
I'm here.
I think she'd make it.
Can you hear me?
You there?
Yeah.
Miss McCollum?
I'm here.
Oh, she is there. Okay. Well, I'm going to shut her down. Y'all have a good day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
You check that math.